Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts and allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast, where we always have such sights to show you. This land of confusion of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. How about that? I'm, of course, your host, Mike G, and my also host, you can hear him revving up. He's too hype. My also host, he's that cartoon where the kid turned into a car and he was red. He wore a red sweater. Well, his name is Winter Trash Month the Third. This guy is the best.
What movie did he turn? Well, that what? What movie did he turn into a car?
No, there's this old cartoon where the kid could transform into a car and his hands would turn into the wheels, and wasn't there a Treehouse of Horrors where someone got like hit by a car and then they transform into a car? No, I'm thinking of Futurama. Okay,
where Bender becomes a car at night.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. It's like this weird. Somebody will find it. If you find it, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah. He gets bitten by a werewolf.
Bitten by a radioactive car. It starts turning into a car at night, dude. Man, what y'all know about that? Oh, what's going on, Winter Man? How you living, dude?
I'm living fantastic here. This is Trash Mug the Third. Trash Mug, Trash Mug,
Yeah, man.
I'm coming at you in the bunker. It is filthy right now. This is signs of Winter has found a game that has been preoccupying his time.
Nice.
And time to talk about
Do
it.
it.
Risk of Rain 2.
Okay,
folks.
Talk to me about this game, because I've seen this all over Twitch, and it looks boring as hell. Like, I'm just saying.
You're a communist. You're part of...
Wow. Just sell me on this game, because I've seen a ton of people play it, and I watch like 3 hours of it.
Yes.
So I'm going to shut up. Just tell me all about this game.
So essentially, in the Winter's review, it's a roguelike game. So you have to be comfortable with dying and starting all the way back from the beginning. You land, and the object of the game is to find a teleporter on each place that you find. And then the game gets increasingly difficult as time progresses. And essentially, it starts off like there's a few monsters here and there, and every time you kill a monster, you get gold.
Okay.
And by the way, everyone on your team gets the same gold. So if you kill one, I get 5, you get 5, everybody get 5.
They got 5 on it.
Okay. Yes. And then you can you can open up crates around the map that have like abilities that stack.
Okay.
So yeah, you never have to get rid of them unless you like trade one in to do a 3D printing of a different one, or you trade in 3 or 5 when you're at a different map. But that's beside the point. So you find the teleporter, and then a monster, like a big boss battle happens, and you have to kill that boss. And then once you do that, and the teleporter is charged, you get zoomed out of the map. You get taken out of that planet, and you move to the next one. And you just keep doing that until, I guess, you can go until the very end. Logan and the guy I was playing with and we got to the point where we got to unlock a character, and that was pretty awesome. But the battles can get crazy. Like, you have to be able to dodge, hit all your buttons right. Like, I play with an Xbox controller on the computer. Fight me, fellas.
Fight him.
And yes. And I think it's fun. Like, for a game, it hits a couple of buttons for me, which is there's unpredictability, there's replayability happening. It's in early access, and it has already a great playing process, or Yeah, it's still in early access, and it's a great game. Like right now, if it was just released right now, it would be beating other games of that caliber. Then there is the like the co-op
Oh, there's
side of
co-op.
things, where the whole thing is co-op when you play with your buddies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the multiplayer is like you are forming a team, like Left 4 Dead style.
Oh,
Like you're all on the
okay.
same side, and there's like different characters that you can play with different abilities.
Cool. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know there was a
So
multiplayer.
and it's
Oh, it's
20
$20.
bucks. Like guys, we have like can I be so the people who are saying this
Mhm.
is boring or who are hidden communists, let me tell you something. How much money did you spend on Fallout 76?
Ooh, that's a sore spot, man.
Risk of Rain is Risk of Rain is 20 bucks, and it's a better experience.
Damn.
And it's in early
Put them on
access.
blast, Winter. Tell them about themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell you. I've done it 3 times, I think, where I've spent $60 on a game, and it was disappointing
Yep.
to me. Like Grand Theft Auto online.
Mhm.
Well, Grand Theft Auto, I bought it just for online, and the loading time alone is not worth the game to me. I'm gonna sneeze real quick. You want me
Okay.
to mute my mic or just get it
Go
on
for
the
it.
record?
Okay, because that gives me opportunity. Because I think we're going to have a similar thing to talk about. So that gives me opportunity kind of to take the mantle
Yeah.
of a roguelike that I've been playing too. Actually, I've been playing a bit of a roguelike because I've just been trying to really get into my Nintendo Switch, like just really start playing some of the more indie games. And Enter the Gungeon was like $7. So
By Devolver Digital, right?
Devolver Digital, man. Those madmen. So I was like $7-8 for a game that I've heard is really good. Sure, why not? Right? So I bought it, and I've been jumping in and out of Enter the Gungeon, which is a very easy to get into roguelike, where you like Winter was saying, you have like your hero characters that you can choose to have different attributes within the gungeon, and it kind of has an over the head kind of the Binding of Isaac kind of play style where it's running gun,
Right.
and you get randomized weapons, you get randomized health items, 1-ups. It's bullet hell. So you kind of have to. It's kind of like looking
Can't
at.
you play a gun?
There is a gun unlockable. You could just play the gun, but I haven't unlocked it yet because I just started getting into it.
So you would say that is a mobile Gundam.
If they let you play as a mobile suit Gundam, I would be playing it right now and forego the podcast.
No, it's a mobile Gundam.
Mobile suit.
Gun.
It's a mobile Gundam. It's a Gundam.
Just accept
it. Accept my joke. It's really fun. It's really easy to just lose yourself into it and just, you mess around and 45 minutes have passed and you're just trying to get, and everything about it is really fluid. Like the bosses of that particular dungeon randomized. So it's hard to catch. You get a rhythm of a boss. Like if you get to the boss and you lose, you're like, okay, let me fight my way back. You get there, it's a different boss. You're like, crap. I have to relearn this. I have to relearn the pattern of this guy, and it just makes it that much more. I need to get back in it. I need to get back in it. I need to jump back in. I can do better this time. Kind of feeling, which is what a roguelike's supposed to be. So I'm really excited to kind of dig my teeth into this. And also, once Dead Cells gets on sale, I'm going to try to pick up that too. I think my Switch is going to be mostly my indie box, where I can just play these $10 games, $15 games, and just have a good time, rather than, like you said, making that $60 commitment to something that may not be good, or maybe a 10-hour game or something like that. But because I'll tell you, like,
that's cool.
Like Devil May Cry 5, it's probably going to be one of my top 5 games of the year. But for me, it didn't have much replayability for me. Just because once I beat it and I finished the story, I was kind of like, okay, that was awesome. But then that's it. Of course I can go in and remaster combos and get better and get good and beat the game on Dante Must Die mode. But at this stage of my life, I just don't need to do that to feel like I completed it. I don't know. Call me a casual, but a filthy casual, but I don't know.
Casual.
Oh, damn. I guess I'll drink my Mountain Dew Cold Red.
Go home and play your casual.
Go home and play your Fortnite. Your Furt nerd. Oh man. You want to talk about
So, any good movie? Did you watch a movie this week?
a movie? No, I didn't. I wanted to go see either Shazam or Pet Cemetery because I'm hearing both are good for different reasons. Especially Pet Cemetery. I'm hearing really good things about Pet Cemetery remake. So I need to settle down and sit and watch that. The only thing that I really watched of any substance, well, I watched two things. Which one of them I watched the shorts for the Alien 30th anniversary. Those were pretty fun. Both shorts. One was named Specimen, and the other one was named Containment. And it's these indie.
Wait, isn't this for the news part?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just talk about it now.
I watched this. Which one had the robot dog in it?
That was Specimen, I think.
Oh, spoiler alert, folks.
Oh man, that's literally the hook of the that's the hook of the short film. That's fine though.
I've done it now.
You've done it. You beautiful bastard. You've done it.
Well, that's for all those folks that don't understand Avatar. # down with the cocoa. Blue cocoa.
Down with the blue cocoa. That blue magic. That's a brand name.
Nope. Not blue magic.
That's that.
We're not good.
That's that blue. You said blue cocoa, man. What do you want me to glean from that?
Blue as in Avatar and cocoa as in coconut.
Okay.
What else does it mean?
Nothing at all.
That's right.
Just can keep that buttoned up. Let's talk about this Twilight Zone episode, man. Let's talk about this shit.
I don't know what you're laughing about.
I'm not part of the joke. So it's funny. We me and Winter have our preamble before we record. How you been, man? That good stuff. Yeah. And Winter brought to my attention, hey, man, did you see that Twilight Zone episode? And I'm like, yo, yes, I did. Oh my goodness. Because me and Winter are avid Twilight Zone fans, i.e. listen to our top 10 Twilight Zone episodes of all time. That's actually one of my favorite episodes of the channel so far. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that episode, it's damn good. I think me and Winter did a good job on that episode. That being said, we both watched the free episode, the first episode of the Twilight Zone called The Comedian. And I would like to ask Winter.
Life is just one big joke.
My life isn't a tragedy; it's a comedy. But we'll get there later. We'll get to that later. But
Mama always told me I needed to smile more,
to put on a happy face.
But I don't think I have anything to smile.
I don't have much. The Twilight Zone's getting
big joke, Rorschach.
The Twilight Zone's getting crazy out there, isn't it? What did you think about this episode, man? Did you watch it?
Okay. So I watched a little bit of it and then I paused it and went I have no need to go back to this. Damn. So I'm trying very hard to contain my disappointment in some things. Mm-hmm. I think the comments that I've read so far have criticized the show's point of view at times, which I think that's bound to happen. I mean, they want to go the Twilight Zone was never this political. I'm like, okay, guys, let's just relax
on that point.
You had an episode where he points at Hitler as an evil man. That is political, regardless of how obvious it is for folks. That is a political state. That's the moral statement that he's making. Correct. There, folks. Rod. So, if you can say that you don't like the moral point he's trying to make in the episode, and that's fine. But to say that it is not like the old Twilight Zones is mistaken. Yep. Okay, good. So that's one argument. But what you also can say is that the Twilight Zone, the original, was not heavy-handed, which I would say is correct. Like, they were able to talk about these bigger things with talking about aliens instead of stuff like that. Or like where in this new series, it's like, nah, they can't think about it like that. They need to hit it like head on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're making some good points. You're making some really good points. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just disappointing because also, what backing does CBS have for this show that they're putting on their streaming when it's the bloody Twilight Zone? Why don't they have it on regular TV? That, to me, I think I listened to a podcast that says the same thing. It kind of smells like they knew that this wasn't going to go well.
Yeah, and I would like to preface this with saying that that Jordan Peele didn't direct every episode. He didn't direct this episode. So people saying, was Get Out and Us a fluke? Are we seeing kinks in the Jordan Peele armor? No. He's not directing all of them. He's directing like one or two. And this episode was not an episode he directed. So you can point your vitriol somewhere else. I would like to say that first. Secondly, Winter is absolutely right that for people who are saying that this show wears this political kind of commentary on its sleeve, and that's not the Twilight Zone. That's incorrect, because Twilight Zone touched on everything from race to politics to social issues. It touched on everything. But my second part of that is it did it subtly. And as Winter said, and to Winter's point, the Twilight Zone didn't dumb itself down for its current audience. You know what I mean? Like, the Twilight Zone thought 40 steps ahead of where everyone else was thinking. And we're still dissecting it to this day. Whereas this comedian episode, wears its influences on its sleeve, and it almost feels dumbed down for this new audience who doesn't have an attention span to think past that episode. You know what I mean? One of the biggest sins for me for this episode, the Call the Comedian, was it wasn't funny. I watched the whole thing, and I don't think it was. I'm not saying it needs to be funny to get its point across. I knew what they were trying to say, but the comedian they chose, even when he was supposed to be funny, and
come in, no,
it's like,
have you met my wife?
It's just even his antagonist of the episode. That's pretty accurate. To this dude. It's just nothing. It just was so blah, and I was so underwhelmed because you couldn't even get through the whole episode, Winter, right? Like, you just couldn't do it. I went through the whole thing, rewinding certain parts because fast forwarding certain parts where he was doing his act because I didn't want to hear it because he just wasn't funny to me. And I was like, they could have picked 101 different comedians, but they picked this guy, and it's probably not his fault. Maybe the whole point was it was supposed to be funny. I don't know. I didn't gain any kind of insightful enjoyment or even just flat out belly laughs, which I would have taken either way. Or it didn't make me think. It didn't make me afraid. It didn't invoke those feelings that Twilight Zone episodes would do. You know, and it makes me not want to pursue this ABC exclusive. And you're absolutely right. Like, CBS, I'm sorry, ABC. I always get those two. CBS. A CBS exclusive where if they didn't have faith in this thing to put it on prime time, then what does that say about the show in general? You know, it's Twilight Zone, you know?
Right. And it's upsetting because it's like, if CBS is making anything I want to see right now, they put it on CBS Access. For instance, Star Trek.
Yep.
That was supposed to be on regular television, but Access. No, it's got to be CBS Access.
Because, you know, it's
right.
They will let. Is that the same station that does the Big Bang Theory or did the Big Bang Theory?
Yes, and it's funny that you mentioned that because one of the podcasts I listened to, this is one of the other points. They said that the main audience that CBS Access is going for is for those folks who want to watch Big Bang Theory, but they can literally just wait 5 seconds and look for any channel on on TV, and there's possibly Big Bang Theory playing on there.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's
there's not
syndicated.
it's not like Everybody Loves Raymond. You got to find specific places for it.
Right. And the audience that they're going towards who want Twilight Zone, who want Star Trek, may not be a CBS audience anymore. You know
Right.
what I mean? Maybe it's not for them. Maybe Twilight Zone should have been on another channel, but that's where it ended up landing. I don't know.
So I have in the same podcast brought up a good point of how we have it would be fun to kind of think about, would we think of this new Twilight Zone differently if we did not have Black Mirror right now?
I think, yeah.
Meaning that we have not had any anthology series out, and it's just has now been like, we don't have a taste of that. Like we don't have a taste of like what could be a science fiction with a message behind it anthology series.
It's what, yeah.
And now, because people are going to make the comparison, like, how is it that, and there's I believe the director of The Comedian did also direct one of the Black Mirror episodes. But it is interesting to think about how we have something that is a modern and successful modern look of this is what an anthology series with a message behind it, but has science fiction elements to tell that message goes by. And Twilight Zone still seems like it's in the Forrest Whitaker days.
And I was just thinking about that, mentioning that, is that this isn't the first time since that epic series that they've tried to bring back the Twilight Zone. There was a 90s revival that fell on its face for the same reason that this is falling on its face or getting bad reviews.
As well as an 80s revival, too.
Was it 80s?
Or I think there was one before Forrest Whitaker.
I believe you're right. But what it is that Black Mirror had to make a name for itself as this new anthology based on technology, you know what I mean? Whereas the Twilight Zone is big shoes to fill, and there's a lot of anticipation in that name. Like Star Trek is big shoes to fill. There's a lot of anticipation and weight behind that name. And with fans of the series, you have to come correct, or they would just automatically dismiss it. Oh, this is just a cash grab. This is Twilight Zone in name only. They're not really even trying to, have the spirit. And I'm not going to lie, the Comedian episode had the spirit of a Twilight Zone episode. It had the sound cues. I liked the segue into Jordan Peele's introduction as the narrator. I see what they were trying to do, but they didn't. It wasn't well executed on multiple levels, which made it a dud episode.
Right. Particularly, we have several things we can look at for like examples of this, of like the comedian or the ventriloquist.
Yeah, the ventriloquist is a very good side by side with this newer episode. And it's all about subtlety and having a certain rhythm. Like this episode had a very awkward rhythm to it that you just never felt. You never felt any kind of suspense or risk toward the character, because and at the end of the day, you just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like there was no weight behind the character or behind his death noting of of his life, or of the world for that matter. So I don't know. I was really excited for this series, and now I'm not, and I feel bad. I feel kind of sad about that. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's gonna take, because so they've done it in the past of like let's reboot Twilight Zone, and I think in the past they've had some issues, or maybe they've done the thing of like, let's have multiple people have their hands on it. But now it's like, okay, we have Jordan Peele. He's the what's on the menu right now in regards to sci-fi horror, with a new twist, with a new angle on it. Let's have him be the executive producer. So now this is like, I think the first time for the Twilight reboots where they're going, we have somebody filling in the shoes of Rod Serling here. and it's going to be Jordan Peele, and it's just
Well,
not
yeah.
working out. So now, it's like I don't understand what it's going to take, and I don't think we'll ever find out until until Disney buys CBS
Wow.
or buys the rights to it, Twilight Zone,
It fixes
and
the
then
problem.
yes, they fix it. James Gunn is
James Gunn,
executive producer of the
Twilight
Twilight
Zone
Zone.
4.0.
Yes, we're gonna have a Twilight Zone side of the Disney park.
And I'll end it on this because we could talk about this all night because it's a fascinating kind of case study. But I think what the magic of the original Twilight Zone is that Rod Serling was a damn genius, and he was a one man band for most of that series.
Right.
And Jordan Peele, I don't doubt that if Jordan Peele put all of his attention into Twilight Zone and every episode was written and directed and screenplayed by him, that it would be an excellent case study of the world around us. But it's not.
Good.
It's him overseeing the stuff kind of with a side eye because he's making this movie and he's remaking Candyman and he's doing this and he's spread so thin that, too many chefs are going to spoil this pot. And maybe it's already have. And this will be CBS's excuse to say, well, nobody wants to watch Twilight Zone. They hated that. It's like, because you made it crappy, dude. Of course.
That's actually a good point. I think we can make an argument that says if you're going to have a show or a film that has a message behind it, you need to be a one-man band. Because if you have too many chefs in the kitchen, then you're going to have multiple messages.
Yep.
And that itself ruins the message if you can't explain it all. Like, that's why Oliver Stone does well, regardless of what you think of his message. But it's because he has control of what the message is.
At the end of the day, and that's why it was so important. You mentioned James Gunn. It was so important for him to come back for that Guardians 3 film, because Guardians 3 without him would have, I hate to say it, would have not been as good, if not bad, because he needs to finish his story. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these directors don't get that opportunity, and it kind of sucks. But that's the way love goes sometimes. Ready to get into some news and cheer ourselves up?
Yes. Let's turn that dial to MOTN News.
News. Panda Watch. The air is thick. The air is tense. Look, that squirrel can water ski. Somebody is out there is laughing. I can feel it. I can feel it in the air. Let's go to the news and talk about this Joker trailer. The Joker trailer. It's the Joker.
Yes. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Just flat out? Okay. And I think it's an excellent trailer. I think
I don't like where this is
I think this is an excellent trailer. And you can hear the inflection in my voice about where this is going to go. I think Joaquin Phoenix is a damn good actor, and I think that the story they're going to tell is going to be a compelling one. But I also think it's going to have nothing to do with the DC universe or the character itself.
Say that last part again.
I think that this Joker film who's directing this? Martin
Phillips.
Scorsese? Todd Phillips, thank you. Feels like a Scorsese film. I'm sorry. I feel like this film is going to be great. I feel like it's going to be a great character study into the insanity of an unwell person and their descent into madness. But I think it's going to have nothing to do with the Joker.
Right. I think okay. I get. That's much better. At least if you're honest. What I would say is that DC, depending on the outcome of this movie, it could push DC into a different side of superhero movies. That means that they're no longer competing with Marvel, meaning they have a cohesive universe, but they're having their own series where it's like we're willing to test the different worlds or like different storylines to where they obviously right now cannot be attached to a single storyline, a cohesive one, but they can test
Correct.
out like, look what we're doing here or here. That's weird. Look at here. And I think that's kind of what's happening now with like Suicide Squad, whatever this Batman movie is going to be. This DC extended
Yeah.
universe is very loosely tied just because they have the same characters. Or they could
Right.
have one that goes like, "Hey, guess what? These are all worlds are real, and there's one guy that can go through all of them, and it's Batman." So, something like that. Oh,
I don't know. Like, I like
yeah.
the idea that you mentioned of DC taking a completely different route in regards to what a superhero movie can be than
Or
what
like what
Marvel is.
a superhero extended universe, a thematic universe could look like, where
Could look like.
right, like for
Yeah.
instance, there's a new Superman Origins movie that's turned like a horror, like if Superman was evil,
Yeah.
that's coming out.
Yeah,
Right.
Brightburn. I can't wait for that. Looks
Yeah,
dope.
and it's like I think
You know?
that's what they're gonna have to do if they want it, and they keep the dark tone of DC there, because
Yeah.
people can only take so much darkness in a series. That's why not a lot of the dark shows stay on for a while. I think.
Nope.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think you make a good point where I think DC saw what happens when you go too dark for too long. You can only be so edgy for so long, but Marvel is all flash and it's all spectacle and it's all epicness. Where if DC went the route of poignant, like actor driven films, that would be such a weird adjustment to what Marvel's doing. If you make these super layered, detailed films about the lives and the struggle of the heroic / villainous characters that DC Comics offers, then that's a completely different approach where there will be some forms of action and grandeur, but at the most part, it's a humanized, deep story. Like that's one thing it gives me hope about the Joker is that this movie looks like it's not going to pull any punches.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be gritty. It's going to be layered. It's going to be super layered and super deep. But my fear is that I can hear the execs now. The Joker technically doesn't have an origin story, so we can do whatever we want. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the whole thing about the Joker is that his origin story, as he calls it, is multiple choice. There's no true Joker origin in the comics. He just shows up one day and he starts bothering Batman. But
stop bothering me, Joker!
Stop bothering my shoes. But I think it's gonna be fan service. It's like the director wants to make the movie he wants to make, but he's contractually obligated to throw a Arkham Asylum there, or name drop Thomas Wayne here, or he'll meet a baby Harley Quinn in a stroller or something dumb. Like I think it's gonna have things like that, but in its core,
yeah,
it's not going to be a superhero movie. It's going to be like this suspense drama.
Yeah,
which I guess is fine.
Or imagine like a DC universe that has no supernatural elements. It's just gritty realism.
Yeah. I'm okay. Like I'm okay with them taking a weird direction.
Yeah.
Like if Green Lantern was more akin to Alien than it is to Star Wars. Like just this heavy feeling like space drama, like I'm okay with them going that direction, but don't lose the beautiful epicness of comics in your pursuit to be different is all I'm saying. Do I foresee this Joker having a Joker mobile and squeezing acid out of his flower and silly stuff like that? No. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to be grounded as hell. He's going to get hit by cars and probably murder people in cold blood. But he's going to be doing goofy Joker stuff. And is he going to have a fisticuffs with Batman at the end? Probably not. It makes me this makes me think of this really good graphic novel written by Brian Azzarello called Joker, where it's really good. It's Brian Azzarello wrote it, and I forget the artist. The artist is killer. Dang, I can't remember his name. But it's about Joker gets out of Arkham, and it's one day in the life of the Joker, and it's all set in this gritty realism. And it's a really good one-shot graphic novel. Find it, Please read it and let me know what you think. It's one of my favorite Joker stories of all time.
So yeah, DC one-shot diverse. There you go. I like
what the one-shot-averse. We got to get cooking, man. We got a lot of news to cover.
Yeah.
Because we've been having some good talks. This is more. Are you a fan of Cowboy Bebop?
No.
Are you a fan of that?
I probably will watch it, but I haven't watched too much of the anime.
Okay, so this is more of a me story, so I can fly through it, so it's fine.
Sorry, Austin.
No worries. Austin understands. That's Aussie Austin. That's your boy. That's the home skillet. Live action Cowboy Bebop. Apparently, John Cho, you know him as Sulu from the Star Trek new films, is going to be playing Spike Spiegel in the Netflix Cowboy Bebop series. Just my quick thoughts about it. I'm just going to tell you, like, personally, I think Cowboy Bebop is the perfect anime from head to toe. If someone says, I want to watch anime, what do I watch? You let them watch Cowboy Bebop. Just go the whole thing. It's a real quick watch, and it's beautiful and well done. John Cho playing Spike Spiegel, sure, why not? An older Spike Spiegel, I don't care. It's fine. Yeah. Moving on. In other DCEU news, Idris Elba is going to be in the Suicide Squad, the reboot by James Gunn. He was supposed to play Deadshot, and take over the role from Will Smith. But apparently, they're going to be sidelining the Will Smith character and making him a completely different character, which is perfect in my eyes because I think there's nothing more.
Just make him the character Luther.
And just let him kick down a bunch of doors.
Yeah. Oi! Oi!
Oi! Batman! Oi!
So you're a rock and roller?
Yo, real rocket. Don't get me started on rock and roller, dog.
That was rough.
That was a nice
You
pull.
need to tell me to not do British accents on this show.
No, I'll allow it if you talk about rock and roller.
No.
that Johnny Quaid, dog. That's fine. He can play 101 different characters, and since DC is not above race swapping, who knows? He could be anybody. So I'm not going to try to theory craft what character he's going to play, and nowadays he can play anybody, so it really doesn't matter. Have you seen this news about the upcoming Overwatch event? They're bringing back Stormwatch again.
Well,
Storm
I don't think
Rising.
So it's not Stormwatch. I think it's a whole. So every year, I believe, Overwatch releases a PvE game where they give you like 4 different characters and you have to kill a bunch of enemies, sort of story. And it's very cool. I always like it when they do it. It tells you some more of the lore of Overwatch, which is always good because Overwatch. I could talk about Overwatch for a while, but we don't.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I just think it's fascinating because it's been a while since we had one of those PvE kind of events from Overwatch. I think the last one I remember was the Halloween one, right? Where you had to fight.
So they do it they do it. So they must have that. They have that every year, I believe. So this must be. I don't know how many times they do this, but you're right. It's been a while. It feels like.
It feels like it's been a while for me, but I'm excited. I've been looking for a reason to get back into Overwatch, and this may be it. You know what I mean? So
the what?
I want to talk about Borderlands 3 and the Epic Game Store for a second.
Nah, that's all right.
You don't want to talk about it? You want to just skip this one?
We can if you want to. I have no. I don't want to support these trolls.
I don't want to support them either, but I wanted your opinion on something. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be about Borderlands. It could be about the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
As a PC owner and being part of as it's known, the PC Master Race, how do you feel about having to live in a world where now even PC owners have to deal with exclusivity? Release exclusivity.
I don't know. I mean, exclusive. I don't know if it's not that big of a deal. Come on, guys. You can have both programs on your computer. It's not It's not exclusive.
It's still not exclusive, right?
Right. and if your argument is that, well, supposedly they sell my info, it's like, A, your info is not that important, don't worry about it, and
Uh,
B, your info is already out there.
and please,
I think it's
yeah,
you need to safely assume that your info is out. Okay, that I mean,
that part.
you yeah, it's exhausting.
It really is exhausting, and is it? Do you just kind of put this over your shoulder, like this is just trolls being trolls, or do you think there's a genuine, a actual issue with this? Like you're just like
Yeah,
you just completely dismiss it.
if they're spamming a bunch of reviews at the same time, that's trolling.
Yeah,
It's not, yeah, and I think you can clearly tell when it's either trolling or is it real reviews, and I think, and even so, some of the reviews I've read are like not even in this time zone or like this plane of existence. The things they're complaining
they're
about,
getting reviews from the 13th dimension. They're getting from Mr.
right?
Mitchell-Plitlick. Mr. Mitchell-Plitlick is
Like I've read people's reviews about Rocket League, and they complain about, oh, there's a battle pass now. Oh no, this game sucks. I'm like,
relax,
the battle pass does not change the gameplay. I
relax.
don't.
Like relax,
What
guys.
you're trying to convey, although you have the mind of a 12-year-old, is that you don't like that the game is now having this monetary transaction, or like trying to add more ways to get your money, which you're fine to feel that way. Personally, I would like games to keep doing that so that they have a source of income and to give reasons for people to support it longer.
Mm-hmm.
But you do you keep playing your Call of Duty Black Ops, you keep playing your Destinies. Oh wait, you don't want to play Destiny now. You don't want to play your Black Ops anymore. Okay, just be playing with this rock, and hopefully you don't bash your skull.
Hopefully those rocks don't have microtransactions. I have 2 points on this, and one is it's easier to vote with your dollars than it is to vote with your voice. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's super simple. I was just thinking about this earlier because I was looking at an article that said Ryan Johnson is okay with J.J. Abrams retconning certain events in The Last Jedi. And I'm like,
he could care less. He's got the money, folks.
And what's sad is these same people who are doing death threats and bomb and review bombing this movie were the same people who saw it 3 or 4 times.
Yes,
you're doing a detriment to yourself if you don't approve of the content. Vote with your wallet.
And I would change what you were saying there about how it's easier to vote with your money or speak with your money, when actually it's a lot easier to speak with your words, but it's meaningless.
That's what I'm saying. If you want actual change to happen, and I'm not going to say that reviews do not change the direction or course of a video game or a film or whatever kind of creative property there is, because the truth of the matter is that we live in a world where your online presence and your reviews can affect the outcome of your intellectual property. I'm not saying that that there's no voice for the voiceless unless you have money. I'm not saying that. But I am saying is that if you really want these people to feel it, then don't buy it. Don't complain about it after you've bought it, because they don't care what you have to say at that point. They already have your money. You know, you can go on internet and blow it up, but they still got your cash. You know, like that's the whole point of this thing is to make money, and they're okay. Like, why do you think EA is still in business? They get some of the worst press in the universe, but it's because the same people who are complaining about Anthem are the people who are shilling out to it. You know, and it's like you got to vote with your money, and if you want to voice your opinion about something you've never played or never seen, then I'm starting to get to the mind where you can't. I wish there was some kind of system where it's like you can't put a review on Rotten Tomatoes unless you scan the SKU of your movie ticket into the system. It's getting to that point because people are weaponizing their opinions. You know what I mean? Against things that They've never seen.
Okay, you're getting to Alex
I'm just
Jones
saying. I'm just
territory
saying.
there. They're weaponizing their opinions at the global media
scape.
scheme.
I'm just saying, this is ridiculous that something like Captain Marvel had to deal with what it had to deal with sight unseen. It had like a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was still 2 weeks out. That doesn't make sense. Like, if you saw the movie and you have proof that you've seen the movie, tell me what you thought about it. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't be that you have these trolls going on the Steam platform and downvoting the hell out of Borderlands 3, even though Steam has nothing to do with what Epic Games is doing. They have nothing to do with it. That's all Epic. And that's all their deal that they struck with Gearbox. So why are you bombing the wrong people? Because
I'm done.
It's crazy. It's just, this world is getting kind of crazy. I don't even know how to approach this next news article. I just think it's funny that there's Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments are penalizing players for being smelly. This is a real article.
Should have been done a long time ago, folks.
Okay, there is a stigma in the nerd culture where certain nerds can be smelly. You go to cons, you go to Comic-Con, the BO hits you just woof, you just oh shit. It's in my nostrils. And it's not all the time. It's not everyone. This is, of course, the general mass. And, and it's gotten to the point where it's become such a complaint that the tournament organizers are like, look, guys, if we smell you, you can't play. Like, go home, figure it out, sort it out. And I feel bad because some people are really nose deaf and they don't know. Sometimes it is an illness. Sometimes it is laziness. You can't tell unless you ask the person, so I feel kind of bad,
Well, yes. Well, this reminds me of how in chess tournaments, in particular, there are some rules where you must wear a certain type of clothing to chess games. And there's actually recently a guy showed up in cargo pants and he was not allowed to play.
Yeah,
something
crazy,
like that.
Right?
Good. And I think that there should be some type of dress code for tournaments or something like that.
Dress code?
Dress code would include not being smelly.
I mean, I'm always of the opinion of no shirt, no shoes, no service as being the absolute bottom for anything. Because some people can't afford to put on big ass suits and zoot suits and show up,
Right. I mean, they got the money to afford to go to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
True. And some people see body odor as being an offense to them. I was attacked by this person's BO, and that's a whole another can of worms I don't want to go down. But I think that them, rather than making it a penalty for them to encourage people to say, hey, seek help. There are avenues there. You can go visit your doctor to have them help you, to get your for real, get your BO under control. Because the way some people are built, the way their bodies, some people sweat more than others. It's a whole thing. And I don't want to necessarily be like, oh, stinky gamers. And it's not about that. It's that some humans have a really hard time managing that. And I think rather than being stricter about this rule, they should be educating these people. Like, look, this is how you go about it. It's almost like it's like a helpline,
Yeah, but is that really the tournament's job to be?
It's helpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely helpful. Hey, don't get me wrong, it's helpful, but to suggest that a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament is to then supply resources of hygiene for someone or to tell them to go to their doctor, that's something else. And
I mean, it doesn't have to be something as such a degree as go see your primary care physician, but it could be something like, hey, when you enter into the tournament, here is a goodie bag and have Yu-Gi-Oh cool stuff in it, but then also in the bag is deodorant and a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Something as subtle as that. So if homeboy smells himself, oh shit, I'm turned up right now. He could run to the bathroom before his set and deodorant up. Maybe so he at least be somewhat fresh. Little things like that. Put a pamphlet in there. Hey, hygiene's important. Doesn't have to be preachy. Just school. That's for you. You put down your trap card and you end your turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
I think, I think we can end the news on that note. Something hopeful. There's always help for those who have a hard time controlling their odors and bodily functions.
Only you can prevent your smelly sweat armpits.
Dang.
Yes. And 9 times out of 10, you're not the small minority that has the congenital disease of constantly being smelly.
No, but that's when you have to play your card: blue eyes, white speed stick.
Blue eyes, white dove.
Blue eyes, white dove.
Or dark magician, which already sounds like an axe spray.
It does sound like an axe spray, dark magician. And if you have the female persuasion, dark magician girl. Mm-hmm. Oh man, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a weekend of sleep. Maybe watch some movies. I've been trying to watch some more movies.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Al Pacino as Dr. Jack Kevorkian movie that HBO's released. As well as Get Shorty. And Get Shorty was great. So I'm trying to watch at least 2 movies during the weekends a day. Or 2 weekend every weekend watch 2 movies.
That's what's up, man. That kind of as you mentioned that, it kind of inspired me to want to start watching more movies from my childhood that I haven't seen in years. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about kung fu movies last episode, and maybe pop in Enter the 36 Chambers, which is one of my favorite kung fu movies with Gordon Liu. It made me just want to watch old weird stuff like People Under the Stairs and and Masters of the Universe, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, the namesake of this channel. So I'm really looking to digging in the crates and just going on Amazon, which has a good plethora of old movies.
Amazon's becoming the place for old movies.
I like it because those are the ones I want to watch. Like I was watching Creep Show the other day, which is by far the best horror anthology film of all time. Fight me. And I had a really good time rewatching that. Where's my cake? Where's my cake? And all that good stuff.
You do your thing.
I like it. It's okay for me to like it. And I'm still playing Legend of Zelda. The game is kicking my butt. I didn't realize how hard it was gonna be. Like, it was hard as hell. It's like Dark Souls. It's like, jeez. It took me 6 hours to fight the sand Ganon. He was too real. He kept doing like 0 shift combos on me. I was like, is this a Zelda game on Nintendo? Why is this character? Why is this so hard? So I had to buckle down and really get into it. So I'm excited for that. I should have some idea on Shazam or Pet Sematary by next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'm excited for D&D. You guys should check out me, Winter, Austin, Aussie Austin, King of F's on the D&D channel, on his Twitch channel, on every other Sunday. I'm super excited to jump back into that. So, yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts, my friend, before we silence this episode?
Yeah, the social media to promote today is Trash Monk the Third Winter on Facebook. Woo! That is right. Get on Facebook, you old geezers, and like my page, Winter Trash Monk the Third. That's Winter, WYNTER, Trash Monk III. and see all the crazy stuff I post up there. I always try to post stuff every Tuesday through Friday there.
Do it. Go check him out and give him your love and thoughts so he can get powered up by them. We can get Super Winter, where he just runs through the countrysides, biting into the throats of elk and gaining energy. Yeah. He fights for the law. Winter fights for the law. Cool. Yeah. If you want to check out more Masters of the Nerdiverse goodness, we have a website. It's called mastersofthenerdiversecast.com, where we archive all of these episodes from episode 1 to episode now it is 82. We're almost to 100, y'all. We can listen to all these past episodes, all of our reviews, all of our reads, all of our top 10s, all this content that we've created so far. And you can actually go to our Instagram page. You can check out our Twitter, which is @mnerdiverse, where I would implore you to go and follow us, because we're always posting goofy stuff and having good conversations online and just having a general good old time, be mixing and melding in this podcast community. If you want to support this channel, you can always like our content. You can always subscribe to our I would say podcast outlets, and you can always comment and tell us what you think. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm going to keep saying it till I see a new one. Let us know what you think of the show. If you have anything you want us to talk about, me and Winter are pretty well versed in all things nerds, so we can hold a conversation just about anything. So you just let us know. We'll talk about it or not. Depends on how weird you get. You know, I'm not your father. You know, just don't be weird. You know, we're not big enough yet to where we have weird fans. That's going to be the day when we get that one fan that just goes too far. We're like,
right?
You know, it happens to everyone, right? One day,
well, if they pay us money,
bring money. You can ask me whatever you want, man. Bring money. This has, of course, been Masters of the Nerdiverse Podcast. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G.
And I've been the other host, Winter.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.